Welcome to Coach on the Run. This is Jenny Antelak, and this is Tuesday Talks. This is where you'll find tools, tips, and techniques to use with your patients, clients, and employees. Today we have a letter from a doctor down in Iowa, and she writes, Jen, I just had a 14-year-old break down in my office. She is obese and feels as though she wants to lose weight, but doesn't see it as possible. How do I get her to believe she can achieve the weight she desires? This is a great question, and yet we all struggle with this. And the reason why is because either we don't believe we can do it, or when we look outside to our influences, we don't believe we can do it. There's two questions that we always ask ourselves. And the first question is, can I do it? And the second one is it worth it? And so what you want to do with these individuals that are questioning, can I really do this? Is this something that I can obtain? You want to go to the circles of influence, and we have a tool that you can look at to have them define what it is going to be like to create this change and what they need to put in place to make it possible. And the first circle of that influence is self. And again, going back to those two questions of worth it and can I do it, we want to look at, okay, when you look at this change, so when you think about this little girl, is it worth it? She's probably saying, yeah, it is worth it because my health is in jeopardy. I don't have any energy. It's affecting my schoolwork, whatever it is. She's answering that first question of, is it worth it? And then the second question of, can I do it? And this goes to our skill capacity. Do I have the capability, the motivation, the drive? Do I need to go out and learn some things? And if so, can I do it and will I be successful? And typically, we can answer those two questions for ourselves when we create change. Yes, it is worth it, and yes, I can do this. Where we get hung up is in the others. And I would guess for this 14-year-old that her environment, the other piece of her environment is influencing her eating habits, which has gotten her to this obesity to begin with. And this is where, when we create change, other people intersect our change. And sometimes they don't like it when we change because, one, it either holds up a mirror for them, and they're like, oh, I'm not creating change. Don't create change because then it's going to make me look bad. Or two, I don't want you to create change because what if you fail and then you feel bad, and we don't want you to feel bad, so don't create the change. Or three, it's going to mess up my environment. So if you're eating over here and I want to eat this, I'm going to feel guilty, and I don't want to feel guilty, so don't do that. And so this little girl and all of us, when we create change, we have to look at that circles of influence of others and say, okay, how do I prepare them for my change? What can I ask them to help me go through this process and so that they can be supportive in this? And once they figure that piece out, then the third place they want to go is the environment, and look at the environment. How is my environment set up in such a way for me to be successful? And so if we go back to the 14-year-old, she really wants to look at everything. Look at her fridge. When she opens the doors, are the healthy foods right in front of her screaming at her, eat me, don't eat the donuts in the back, eat me. And when she looks at her bedroom, how is her bedroom set up? Are there physical reminders in her room to say, hey, keep on track, this is worth it, and you can do it? She can look at her environment at school and say, okay, how do I set up that to be successful? And when we plan out all three of those areas of self, others, and our environment, then we can be more successful. But if we just look at self, then we will fail because others will always intersect and our environment will always influence. So if you are helping people move towards what they want, go to the circles of influence and help them plan that out. Now, if anybody else has a question like this or any other question, please go to learningjourneys.net, and you can email me right on there, or you can email me direct at jenny@learningjourneys.net. Also, this tool is out there on learningjourneys.net, so you can buy it and use it with your patients, your clients, or even your employees. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next week at Tuesday Talks.